What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we heard these reports that newly crowned WBO junior middleweight world champion, Tszyu is going into a fight with Sebastian Fundora this upcoming Saturday, tomorrow. Tszyu was initially scheduled to face off against Keith one-time Thurman. Tszyu was not going to defend his WBO title against Keith one-time Thurman. Tszyu title was not on the line because the fight was scheduled to take place at 155 pounds at a catchweight, okay? Not at the 154-pound limit. So Tszyu, okay, belt was not going to be on the line. Then Keith Thurman suffered a torn bicep that saw him pull from the fight. Now, keep in mind, Sebastian Fundora was supposed to fight on the undercard, and Sebastian Fundora was supposed to be, fighting for the vacant WBC title. This all came about because Jermell Charlo decided to jump up from 154 to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez, okay? And once he decided that he was jumping up to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez, undisputed versus undisputed, the WBO decided to strip Jermell Charlo, and once he came down, he got stripped of all the titles, okay? He only holds the Ring magazine currently as it stands, okay? So with that said, Tszyu is the WBO champion. The WBC belt is vacant. Sebastian Fundora, the Towering Inferno, was supposed to fight for the vacant WBC title on the undercard of Keith Thurman versus Tszyu. Since Keith Thurman had a torn bicep, then Sebastian Fundora was elevated to fight Tszyu as the main event, okay? And they decided to put both belts on the line. So now it's going to be a unification bout for the vacant WBC title and Tszyu's WBO title, seeing as though Sebastian Fundora, he fights at 154. Keith Thurman fights at 147 and said he had no interest in fighting for the WBO title because he doesn't recognize it and respect it. So therefore, Sebastian Fundora is at the division. So that makes the fight at 154. Now the belts are on the line, right? Okay. With that said, Terence Crawford decided that he was going to move up to 154 and make himself the mandatory challenger for Tszyu Sebastian Fundora winner. Actually, he moved up with the hopes of fighting Tszyu, even when Tszyu was going to fight Keith Thurman. Should he beat Keith Thurman, he still wanted to fight Tszyu. Terence Crawford was at the WBO grand opening launch of their new gym in Puerto Rico and their convention because he's held the WBO title for years. Okay, that was the first belt he ever won. So with that said, he's held the belt for years, okay? And they have a long-lasting, close relationship. So Terence Crawford, he did it at 140 when he beat Julius Ndongo for undisputed. He moved up to 147. He immediately fought Jeff Horn for the WBO title. He beat him. Now he was attempting to do it again. Tszyu is the guy with the WBO title. President Mr. Paco of the WBO out of Puerto Rico, they stated that they're going to honor that. So February 26th, Mr. Paco did an interview to which he stated that Terence Crawford is coming and he's going to activate his mandatory challenge and move up to 154 since the rematch between him and Errol Spence after their July 29th Las Vegas, Nevada showdown where Terence Crawford dropped Errol Spence in the second round, twice in the seventh, then stopped him in the ninth and battered him in the rounds in between that. So Terence Crawford and Errol Spence was supposed to have an immediate rematch. That fell through because it cited that Errol Spence had physical issues he had to deal with, and Errol Spence had to, had recovery and eye surgery and medical issues popped up. So the rematch ran its course and it's not happening, right? So Terence Crawford is petitioned to fight Tszyu. Then suddenly, now that Tszyu is in a unification bout, Tszyu's manager says that if they're forced, now keep in mind, February 26th, Terence Crawford met with Mr. Paco, informed them he's coming so he can do the official paperwork and make it official that he's going to move up to 154 and make himself the mandatory. President Mr. Paco was extremely excited. Then March 4th, right, he did so. They announced that Terence Crawford is going to be the mandatory challenger. Today is March 29th, okay? Suddenly, this week, now Errol Spence is in the picture to fight Tszyu. And Tszyu is saying that he's always wanted to fight Errol Spence, and it's an honor to fight Errol Spence. And now his team came out and they stated that they was willing to vacate the WBO title. Now, why? Because 2 belts are on the line. Now, if they vacate the WBO, they'll still be the WBC champion. If they're Terence Crawford, if they force to fight Terence Crawford, Tszyu is saying he wants to go in the direction of the biggest money fight. Suddenly, yesterday, Errol Spence comes out and says he's headed to Vegas and he wants to win a Tszyu-Sebastian Fundora fight, right? Etching Terence Crawford out the equation, okay? So now the pot is starting to get hot. It's starting to boil over. Tszyu is saying, well, whatever fight makes sense, I'll fight both of them, whichever one is easier to make. Now, he's with Al Heyman in the PBC, and so is Errol Spence. Terence Crawford is a network promotional free agent, so we see the writing on the wall. Then he's saying whichever fight is the biggest money fight. Well, that comes down to how much money Al Heyman wants to offer for Terence Crawford and how much money they want to offer for Errol Spence fight. Obviously, they could play the game and offer Errol Spence fight for Tszyu more money than they can Terence Crawford to X out Terence Crawford, right? So now Tszyu's team is caught in a lie, saying that, first off, he's saying that he didn't, using the word vacate is not in his vocabulary. And then he's coming out and he's saying that, they wasn't aware that Terence Crawford was going to be the mandatory for Tszyu's belt until last week. But Terence Crawford petitioned for this belt back in March 1st, the first week in March. So how you just became aware? We heard about this for an extremely long time. Even if it wasn't official, you heard about the chatter that you could have inquired about. And Tszyu was asked about this, to which Tszyu said he would love to fight Terence Crawford. He was initially in negotiation to fight Terence Crawford, and he don't know why it fell through. And then suddenly he's fighting Keith Thurman. So why is it a shocker? Let's listen to what he had to say.
And even if I had have said the term vacate, it's not in my vocabulary. I had no reason to use it, but it was in the term vacate. It's not in my vocabulary. I had no reason to use it, but it was written the following day that I had said we were going to vacate. Even if I had that, mate, I would have said that it was something that would be considered, because initially it was Thurman and now there's a mandated Crawford fight. Oh, okay. And when you consider everything, which we do, but never would I say we're going to vacate the WBO. No way in the world. I mean, Tim's the champion. We have no reason to vacate. Opportunities that have come around. We didn't know a week ago that Terence Crawford was going to be made mandatory. No idea. So I hope that settles it. And even if I had have said...
We had no idea Terence Crawford wanted to be the mandatory not even a week ago. Lies. And now the pot is starting to get hot. Period. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue. Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. That's all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.